We should. For our drink today.
That was pretty
That
damn
was
good.
perfect.
That was pretty damn good.
The first one we did off camera was not so good.
I thought it was going to break. I legitimately thought we were going to have shattered glass. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and this is Christian, and this is the Barcast, where we talk about whatever it is that we want, basically. But honestly, really, it just we're just talking about our journey as entrepreneurs. I'm the CEO, co-founder of We Trade HQ. Christian is my partner. He also has his own business as well, and we've been doing things a little bit differently lately when it comes to just how we're structuring the Barcast. So, if you guys have been tuning in lately, you know that we've been doing these toast competitions, and we've been having you, participate as well. Sending us your own toasts. We call it the People's Toast.
The people.
The hashtag People's Toast, and you guys have been sending in some awesome content, and I really hope that this continues because it's been a lot of fun so far.
And I have a top-notch toast today. I came prepared. Fully loaded, I'm ready to rock.
So make sure you're sticking around for that. And if you want to see if yours made the cut, make sure you're sticking around to the end of the video, as that'll be when we reveal whose People Toast we chose. And if you want to submit it, go to either one of our Instagrams at Cashier.
Go to my Instagram. You go to my Instagram. It's Cashier, Cash_here. Easy to find me. That's where I'll be.
Or at Own the Chaos. Submit hashtag People's Toast. Your toast there.
No, but really go to Cashier.
And we'll pick whose is the best. So, what's up, man?
Nothing. I feel like kind of uptight today. You know, when like everything's in your shoulders and like
yes.
I've
been feeling the same way.
I need to relax.
I've been feeling I've been super stressed lately.
Relax.
I don't even know why. I've been letting every little thing get to me, and it's been driving me crazy. I'm
really?
Annoyed with my own self.
Really? Like what? Tell me more.
I mean, it's just little stuff.
Talk to me. Come on. We have drinks. We're at a bar. This is what we do. We do therapy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of drinks, we probably should do that first, right?
Yes, we should. We should. For our drink today.
That was pretty damn good.
Perfect.
That was pretty damn good.
The first one we did off camera was not so good.
I thought it was going to break. I legitimately thought we were going to have shattered glass everywhere.
So we're doing Sagamore Rye.
Sagamore Rye. So if you guys aren't familiar with Sagamore Rye, no need to worry. It's actually a local thing here in the Baltimore area. Kevin Plank is responsible for Sagamore Rye. Kevin Plank is the CEO of Under Armour.
Yep.
Something that we're really proud of in Baltimore, really. So if I know that Sagamore is pretty interactive with their social media accounts, so I'm sure they'll see us. So
yeah. So up until this point, we've only done Jack Daniels because obviously the horse you came in on, and I thought it would be fitting that we would do as our first one that's not Jack Daniels to do local. So Sagamore Rye. You probably know a decent amount about Sagamore being local.
Yep.
But I'll give you the rundown. Maybe there's some things you didn't know. So for Sagamore Rye, let me just pause real quick. I gotta pause because we finally have an audience. People are truly figuring out.
No, that's not true. Last time we had an audience and it was rough.
Who is that? Oh, the kid, the baby?
No. There was a crowd of people trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Because it was raining outside, and then everybody came in and was poking their nose around.
We have the horse's finest security, my man Jay, he's off camera, but he's sitting right there. But he's here for the show. So I feel...
Live in-studio audience.
I feel excited. It's just going to grow. I mean, a year from now, we'll probably
I know we're going to have to be pushing people out the door.
Yeah, so...
We can't tell them.
My man Jay.
Can't tell them the time of day we're recording right now.
All right, so Sagamore Rye. So Kevin Plank, CEO, founder of Under Armour. A few years back, he went on this crazy tear of getting outside of Under Armour and starting these other businesses.
Yeah.
He bought Sagamore Farms, which is Reisterstown. So it's probably 25 minutes from here. So he bought this farm, horse breeding farm, and he got into racing, and then that spawned all these other Sagamore projects. So he has a hotel, which is across the street from here, Sagamore Pendery. He's got the Sagamore Farms, and then he's got Sagamore Spirits, among other things, right?
Yep.
And the distillery just opened in Baltimore. So This was launched in 2016, and this I just found this out actually. But interesting thing about why they chose rye was a history tied to Baltimore. So in Baltimore or Maryland, let me say Maryland, in the beginning of the 20th century. Before Prohibition, there was like 44 distilleries in Baltimore, and they were whiskey rye distilleries.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a tribute to that. And by 1970, all of the distilleries were gone. So I never knew that that's why they chose rye particularly to do as far as the whiskey. I just thought it was because that was the trend at the time, but it really lined up. So that's kind of the story behind the whiskey, why they chose rye. It's growing really quickly. Obviously, the name helps, and Kevin Plank backing it. I've actually never tried it before.
About the rye. You never tried Sagamore?
No.
Oh man, I love Sagamore.
So this will
rye.
be
It's
my first
good
time.
stuff.
So with that said, your toast, sir. Are you doing an original toast, or are you
No,
doing
I'm not that creative.
Okay.
So I mean, take that for what you will. But I'm kicking off to you this time because every time I'm always kicking off. So now I'm on defense.
All right, here we go. So this is the toast competition. I'm bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Raise your glass. Men will drink whiskey. Women drink shanties. If we get lucky, they'll give us their panties.
You made that up?
Yeah. Cheers.
I don't have anything that good.
I write my own toast. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Feel free to use it.
That was a good one. That was a
right.
good one.
I
All right.
appreciate it.
Mine is here's to staying positive and never testing negative.
Cheers.
Love Sagamore rye. Good stuff.
Oh, that's actually smooth.
Yeah, it's very good. It's good with like other stuff too.
Now about your toast, that's going to be a problem because you're in a relationship. So it's going to be a reckoning to have if you don't test negative.
It's for the sake of the show.
All right, so let's get into it.
All right.
You can have that later.
I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, I'm just letting little shit get to me. That's all.
All right. Business-wise, personal-wise?
Business-wise, I mean, you know, I have a bad habit of paying attention to social media too much, and drowning out the noise has been a problem lately.
Particularly YouTube? Or does it...
YouTube and Twitter, and like sometimes when your business relies on being a social media presence, it's hard to just block it out. I can't just not be on social media because that's what we survive on. But at the same time, it's like, you know, just ignoring it. And we've talked about it before, but like it's easier said than done sometimes.
What is the common message you're getting or things that are sticking with you?
You know, in this industry, like in the stock market industry, I've been, you know, I started to fall into just like being the big dick like everybody else is because like there's nobody's nice to each other in the stock market world in that industry. But man, like I'm trying to like not be that way. I've realized a long time ago that like I'm not trying to go with the flow. I'm trying to be something unique and different. And so it's taken a lot for me to just not fall into that trap of just being a keyboard warrior like everybody else is. And so taking the high road has definitely been difficult. Yeah. Although, you know that if you guys are in Baltimore and on Twitter, Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the king of trolling. Yeah. But which I find hilarious. But, you know, I just, you know, for me personally, I just trying to not be so negative because there's so much of it around. And you look at some of the other personalities that are out there, they're all like, you know, I don't know. It just...
Well, we talked about the negative energy versus the positive energy, and it's hard not to succumb to the negative energy.
Yeah.
I will point this out, and it's important to note, and this is so your MO, like you totally focus on the negative. I don't want to say you focus on the negative, but the negative definitely impacts you, and you conveniently don't bring up the positive.
It affects me, yeah.
Because let's also bring up the positive, which is the flip side of that. We've been talking about your frustration about not getting movement on YouTube, and your video, you've seen a lot more momentum recently.
Yeah.
And so you've had some good success with the videos, the Barcasts, which
Which
probably,
thanks, by the way. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all to you guys.
You're welcome. In no small part to probably the fact that I'm leading those barcasts. I think we figured out a little bit of a formula. People have spoken. No, I know they want to hear your story, but in all seriousness, that has been a nice little positive.
Yeah, it has been.
We've been waiting for that movement, and now it's kind of hopefully snowballing a little bit.
My hope is that because they've tuned into that they'll start to try to be curious about any, the other stuff that we talk about. Because I do find it interesting. And some of the people who have been following us from day one are like, man, this stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of like put a few more eyeballs onto the Barcast itself.
Yep. I forgot something. And then we got to talk about our subject. The biggest point I wanted to make. So this, Sagamore does a rye day, and this, we'll do a Barcast clip. I'm calling it. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it or not, but I'm calling it.
Okay.
I'll cut it out if we can't do it. But when they pick a rye day, so rye day like Friday. It's Friday in September. So our Barcast launches the Friday after.
Okay.
So we need to do a clip.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So figure, I don't know how that's going to work. I should have told you this beforehand. But anyways, September 13th, we're celebrating Rye Day. Friday, September 13th.
Sounds good to me.
That's not going to work.
That's not going to
I tried.
We'll have to figure that one out.
I can't believe I forgot that. Damn it.
It's all good. We'll figure that out, Volley.
So let's get into the big discussion, the business discussion.
Let's do it.
We wanted to expand upon the topic you touched on, which was routine.
Yeah.
In our discussion, sort of like our pre-production discussion for this episode, we realized that we've actually never really talked to each other about our routine. You talked specifically about your trading day and how it starts, but that was the extent of it. And so I think we can both agree that routine is so important, and it's nice to hear insights on others' routines and why they do what they do, and hopefully take something from it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think some people think that all I ever do is just sit around and trade all day and not do anything else. So people might want to know exactly what it is that I do every day.
Well, and I'll stroke your ego a little bit because you are super busy, but you are really responsive because I know all the stuff you have going on. I mean, you trade for a living, and then you have your company, right? And on top of that, you own a company, but you also are a mentor, which is a whole nother business, and to manage that is a full-time job, just to be in Discord and to communicate and to prep for your mentorship, all the while doing the other things I mentioned. You're like super responsive, which is cool. I mean, although you were out of town last week and you weren't very responsive on Monday, but I'll let you slide. But that's it. I would imagine that's got to be a testament to your structure, your routine. Is that pretty safe to say?
Yeah, absolutely. If I don't have some sort of structure or some sort of schedule that I try to stick to, then my whole day gets shot. And then before I know it, it's 9 p.m. and I'm like, where did the day go? So
what's the key for you?
For me, it's just I have little reminders that just says, "Hey, get to this email," so when I first wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm doing is going to my emails and reading them to see if there's anything that I need to respond to. There's a big old bug here.
There's a fruit fly literally in the middle of your face.
But yeah, so first thing I do when I get up, it's usually 6:30-ish, somewhere around there, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. But I'm always looking at my emails. I'm looking at any kind of notifications or like direct messages that I need to get to. And those are the first things that I respond to in the morning, because if I don't do that, I know that I'll forget them and I won't get to them.
Will you still be in bed, or will you? Is this actually like?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If I roll over and look at my phone, if it's something that I have to make a legit response to.
We're in a real bar. This is the legit real bar because there's a freaking fruit fly.
I think I got him. Yeah, so then I'll respond to all that stuff, and then it's on to the stock market. What's moving pre-market? What news do I need to go over? Pulling up all that stuff, and preparing for the morning mentorship. So that's basically my morning routine. There's a lot of preparation that goes into the mentorship every morning, and some of the other mentors could probably attest to that it's not just like, here, I'm going to flip on my computer and have everybody talk to me and we'll discuss something. Most of the time we're figuring out what we're going to discuss and having a whole game
Well,
plan.
then how do you? What's consistent as far as like how do you structure then managing the business, not the mentorship, the business, and then also making trades?
So lots of times I'll make trades in the mentorship. Sometimes there's other times where I'll set price alerts so that I can be managing other stuff, and then if I hear it go off, I'll slide over and check that out. Usually after the mentorship, if I need to record videos, then I'll record videos right after mentorship, somewhere between 10 and 12 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll get that knocked out. Then I'll go back and answer any emails that got responses, and then usually there's also meetings on top of that, usually in afternoons with you guys, meaning you and Jake, or some of the other mentors, or somewhere in between there I usually end up getting phone calls and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I mean, that's the basis of my day usually.
Okay. What about the personal stuff? Like, do you feel like you have a good balance between the work side and then
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. Sometimes I just can't put my phone down. And, I think it's important to have a little bit of self-awareness about that. Sometimes I get too wrapped up into just being involved in the Discord group. If I'm not a presence in the community dies. And I've experienced that. So because I focus my attention on other things, as it actually relates to behind the scenes business stuff, we've seen a lack of activity in the Discord group because I've kind of removed myself a little bit as a constant presence in there. So I almost feel as if I condition people to be talkative only when I'm around, and I don't know how to correct any of that. Like, I would love it to be active whether I'm there or not. And so trying to figure out how to make that happen, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Interesting. One thing you said about your routine that's really important to my routine, and you know me, I'm big on structure, and I need it. It's almost therapeutic.
You're way more disciplined than I am now.
Maybe, but so the key for me is really having a strong start to the morning. Like, I'll know right from the jump how my day's gonna go, depending on like how my first hour goes. So if I get a strong start, it kind of snowballs into a strong rest of the day.
Yeah.
But that's really where I try to have the most structures, like my morning start. Fortunately, with the mentorship that you have, it allows me like a hard time that I've got to be ready to rock. So your mentorship starts at 9.
Right.
I try to be out the door at 9 because one of the other big things that I try to do is get my steps in, because we talked about how I've been really sedentary.
Yeah.
And I've realized recently that I'm only getting like 5,000 steps a day just because I'm on my computer all the time.
Right.
So rather than sit down and listen to your mentorship at the computer, I take my phone, my headphones, and I walk. And my goal is by the time your mentorship's over to get my 12,000 steps in.
Right.
So the most important part is the morning. I try to journal in the morning. I try to get a lot of the personal things moving for me in the morning. So try to get my steps in, try to get my journaling, do the mentorship, and then that gets me to 10 o'clock. And then now I'm starting to work and I'm sitting down at my computer.
Yeah. I think just having that routine is everything. And you've been giving me a hard time about the steps too, just because, and I need to be held accountable because I was even more sedentary than that. I'm still trying to figure out like when's a good time to start walking around, because obviously I got to stay where I'm at during the mentorship. It'd be cool to just walk around during that time, but I can't. So I'm just trying to figure out like maybe there's something that I can, as I'm responding to emails, something along those lines that I could do that. So I got to figure that out too. But
there's a few keys to it to understanding when you're creating your routine, because all our routines are going to be different.
Right.
And I think the few keys are, one is you just have to really understand yourself. Like, how do you work? How do you operate? So for me, I know that I do things in chunks and I need to have a strong start. So I know that if I can get half my steps in the morning, I'll get my 12,000 steps in. But I also know that if I don't get steps in by noon, that I'm probably not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas some people like to do it all at once. So they may say, hey, I'll do it at the end of the day. So that's one key. The other thing is to understand what your priorities are. So I need balance. I know my personal sort of time and thought is really important to me because I think a lot. So I need to process that. And so having my social is really important. So having the social aspect of my life, because I don't really like go out anymore, party as much anymore. So how do I manage that? So for me, fitness, working out, mental, those are all important things. So I kind of build that in, and working out is social for me. So I'll work out. I try to go to the gym every day, and some days I just walk, but it's also to be social and to say hi to my friends and to connect and to network. And so I know what my priorities are, and I think for anybody trying to create a routine, to understand what's a priority. If your family's a priority or if your friends are a priority, we'll build that in.
Yeah. Well, and all of that helps it helps your brain. It gives you brain power.
Yeah.
It helps you be able to focus, helps with all that good stuff. So I think those are some pretty good key takeaways. And I want to know what you guys think. Let us know down in the comments below. What's your routine like? Do you agree with us? Is it absolutely essential to you being a productive person, being productive in whatever it is that you're doing? Do you have to have a routine, or are you somebody who can just wing it and still be okay? Let us know down in the comments. And as promised, we also want to show the people's toast. So at the end of every video, again, we're selecting somebody who we think has the best toast, and we're going to air it every video. So here is this week's people's toast.
Here's to the hole that never heals. The more you rub it, the better it feels. Ticks, gonorrhea, lice, we've had it all. By Jesus Christ, there is no soap this side of hell that'll wash away that fishy smell. Gentlemen, to the Queen.
So there you have it, guys. Let us know what you think. If you liked it, leave some comments again down below. And if you want to submit your own toast, again, go to @OwnTheChaos or @Cashier. Submit your toast, and we'll pick from yours, and maybe yours will be on the next one. So thanks again for tuning in. As always, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content such as this. And if you like this video, we certainly would appreciate to show the channel some additional support. And that's it for me, guys. As always, I will see y'all before the bell. And B. Smith is out.